A woman who has been, she's been trying to escape an abusive husband and flee to a safe house with her two small children. Somehow he kept finding her and the situation became very dangerous. She discovered that he had installed a $60 spyware app on her mobile device, which tracked her GPS location, text messages, phone calls, even WhatsApp, which she thought was a secure way to communicate. So how would SEGURU help prevent dangerous situations like this?
Women and men in abusive situations, which involve spousal abuse, or boyfriend abuse, or girlfriend abuse, are probably in the most danger of any group of people in the world of the internet and cybersecurity. You have a stalker or criminal on one end who is determined to track the location of the victim. And in most cases, the victim is not aware that they are being tracked. This leads to a very, very dangerous situation where a victim can unknowingly expose themselves not only to cyber stalking, but real physical danger. SEGURU provides victims of stalking or domestic abuse a powerful tool for them to understand who is tracking them, when are they being tracked, how they're being tracked. This is not really possible with almost any other software out there. It's really important to go and defend yourselves and against these bad actors, cyber stalkers, and abusive partners. And really, there's no other tool out there. So, sadly, but also gratefully, there is a tool such as SEGURU out there so that victims can no longer become victims.
Let's talk about some insider threats. So, in my government organization, a former senior manager who'd been terminated for unethical business practices was actually caught accessing our database with proprietary government research data through the mobile device he had returned long after he was terminated. How can SEGURU help business owners and managers protect their sensitive data from both external and insider threats like this?
In most companies, both government and private, individuals are allowed to bring their own devices to work. So in many, many situations, you will find individuals having a corporate issued phone and their own personal phone. Believe it or not, there really isn't much of a barrier between them. The person tends to use both of them at the same time, or interchangeably use them at the same time. And when if you get fired and you turn in your government phone, let's say, or your corporate phone, that doesn't mean that you have that employee has lost the ability to go and attack either the agency or the company. The enterprise version of SEGURU helps companies track not only the mobile phones that they issued, but also tracks threats as they come into the network of the company or the government agency. This is a really, really powerful tool, and actually very powerful because if you've ever seen SEGURU's interface, it is the most intuitive and easy to use interface and allows people, management, risk personnel in companies or government agencies to proactively protect not only their people, their data, and all their resources. Again, SEGURU is the #1 tool for companies who want to be protective of their resources, their data, and their people.
A doctor in Chicago who runs a large laboratory department with highly sensitive patient information. Recently, their hospital experienced a data breach from one of her employees, unknowingly falling victim to a phishing hack through his personal mobile device, which allowed the hacker to steal the identities and financial information of thousands of patients. How can SEGURU empower patients as well as hospitals to be aware of their data and where it's going?
In the healthcare space, there are numerous privacy laws. In the United States, we have HIPAA, which prevents the exposure of patient data to the public. In Europe, we have GDPR, which also prevents the exposure of personal data out to the internet. However, there are many bad actors out there. And the way I see SEGURU working in the healthcare space is to do this in a proactive partnership manner. I think that if you have very sensitive medical data, you need SEGURU to be part of your digital arsenal or your digital tool set. Because you don't want people trying to figure out if you're HIV positive. You don't want people finding out you have some rare disease that will cause people to avoid you. There's a lot of things you don't want to expose, particularly in your personal medical data. I think that it's important for people with this type of information, medical information in particular, to have SEGURU as part, again, of their toolkit, because it allows them to actively monitor people, bad actors, bad companies, from going into their system and then exposing other people's information, either by stealing it and using it for financial gain, or just stealing it for the sake of destroying somebody else's life.